good morning, boys and girls, friends, enemies. How the devil are you? I was thinking of talking about rose-tinted glasses. Yeah. As a lot of you know, I had a problem with misfueling on this thing. Wasn't the end of my troubles. I put it all back together and there was no neutral light and she ran like a bag of bones. So, of course, fearing the worst, looking around it, tinkering, as you do. And I found a socket had corroded, one of the plugs, and when we put it back together it obviously was enough just to take the pin off, and it was from the neutral sensor. Put it back in, bike run a tree. All this EFI crap. So come out the next day, big puddle of oil, the neutral sender where I'd had it out to sort of clean the wiring, etc. The O-ring was worn, so I had to send away and get an O-ring. Got that solved, putting it back together. One of the threads was buggered. They're only a little M5 bolt, two of them, in blind holes. They're not very long, about 2 centimetres. I mean, literally next to nothing really. So a friend to bring his time certs down, helicoils on this occasion. Drilled, tapped, helicoiled, put back together, perfect. Been running like a dream for the last week. This morning went out to a dead battery. Now admittedly I hadn't been riding her for about 4 days, and last night was like 3 degrees, I mean, and not the music either. It was chilly. Put a bit of charge back in. Ordered a new battery, sorry about the cough, on the basis that I have no idea how old this one is. It come with the bike obviously. And I was really despairing this morning, as you get, really pissed off. Sorry, I mean really upset. And I was looking back and I thought the best bike I ever had was one of the original 1973, I believe, memory serves me correct, Bonneville T120. Best bike I ever owned. Never let me down. Loved it. Well, actually, I was talking to my sister the other day and she reminded me just how often I got towed back, brought back, how many spare bits I had to buy for it, how many times bits fell off it, how often I couldn't use it for work. And it made me wonder, was it as good as I thought it was? Realistically looking back, nah. Typical Triumph of the 70s. Felt a bit on every occasion it could. Come on girl, what are you doing? So, when we remember our old bikes, do we remember them honest? Choking today. Do we remember them honestly? Now, I had a Yami RD400. Not the best bike I ever owned, ironically, despite what other people dream on about them. But it never ever let me down. Apart from servicing, I never did a thing to that bike. All the bikes I've really loved have been monsters. My old Norton. I think the silencer fell off one day on a trip. A bolt come out of the frame and the engine started to shake about on another trip. But I loved that old bike. And whilst I was saying I was hating this thing this morning, which I was, actually for the miles I've put on it, I've only had it, what, 3-4 months, and I've done 4,500 miles on her. The plug was down to the previous owner, so it wasn't my fault, and it looked as though the small M5 holding the neutral indicator had been off before. It certainly wasn't me taking it off, I know that, because all I did was unbolt it, but it just wouldn't go back in. So, do we have rose-coloured glasses when we talk about our bikes? What on earth is going on here? Are we honest with ourselves? Look back at the bikes you've had, if you're, you know, an old dinosaur like myself, and be realistic. Did you actually love them as much as you think you did? Interesting. Anyway, it was just a thought. Are we looking at rose-coloured glasses on our past vehicles? I know upon reflection I certainly am. Would I love my old Bonnie back? Yeah, but it'd have to be a weekend motor, you know, just for trundling on. Would I want to run up to Scarborough as I do regularly on it? Nah. Would I have done when I was in my 20s? Oh yeah. But I'd have had an old ex-army bag on the back with all my tools and spares and bits in. So, just a thought to ponder, really. I'll leave you with that. Have fun, ride safe, but above all, enjoy yourself. Bye.